Best way to do this is to do a recording of this project and where we're at. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to cover a bunch of different things on this video, and there's so much stuff. I want to make sure I've got it all in one place. So I know you want to get this refi done, and what I want to do first is let's go back in time. The first thing you hired me to do in December, January was to do the taxes to eliminate the rate. We weren't going to get a house. We weren't going to get loans, blah, blah, blah. Then at the end of January, you changed your mind, which is fine. And then I had to generate a bunch of financial stuff in order to get us through the first loan that we got. And thankfully, the IRS was closed and they really couldn't validate anything or check on anything. And we had a very friendly lender. By the way, I apologize, but my sinuses are killing me. My eye allergies are killing me. I think I'm getting sick again, but it is what it is. So just bear with me as I get through this. And then everything was cool, but you got to remember those financials were designated or set up so that the business qualified. I mean, you personally applied, but the business gave you the strength. Now, in this time around, we got to do like a basically traditional, conventional, full doc, 3.75% loan for you to get it. Now, when I did the application and the financial statements with the 2 years of backup, that qualified you and your credit looks good and all that stuff. But in underwriting, we've got a problem because we're going to want to make sure the tax returns are finalized. They're going to want to make sure that the debt to income and the cash to debt and other ratios are solid. And I had a long talk with Haas, and so I wanted to just go through some stuff, all kinds of stuff. So let's start with this. Start with this. So this is from Andrew. On May 7th that morning, I delivered to him the detailed personal financial statements and the supporting information that you gave me the $5,600 to do. I'll go over that billing stuff later, by the way. Anyways, from this, his analysis said that he basically says that there's 260 annual debt, 40% DTI, and we need to show an average of $650,000 in qualifying income for the last 2 years. Full doc. We will not consider business income as personal income, but they do want to see that the business financial support with the individual, say 2 years personal returns, 2 years business returns, blah, 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 blah. Basically, redo every fucking thing again. So let's go over here to the right side of my screen, and this is where these numbers basically come from. Well, actually, let's go to the source material, which is my amazing 101-page document that got them to think that you're a badass. Here, let's go to. We're going to go to the section here. This is page 3. These are credit card revolving and other debt, 343 bucks a month. Some student loans, that's actually 500 and change. And then we've got another 3,500 in vehicles, and then we've got the 12.4 and the 2176. All that stuff's on the right side. Then they have a base living expense per month of 2,500. All that totals 21, 40% gets us to 654,000. All right. So this is all what's driving what are called the monthly debt payments to reverse calculating the income needed with a threshold of 40%. Now, some banks go 20, some go 30, but basically 40% in your home free almost all the time. And that's what he said. The problem is, though, when we do that, we have another issue. What's that issue? Let me go show you. Well, I'm here over on the left side now. I have my amazing tax software where I run all kinds of scenarios and do people's taxes, and I can do a base return, and I can do up to 3 different plans off of it. At 650,000 ish. Now here it says 654. Over here 652. That basically gets us qualified. Like where you're at right now, you need to show 650. The problem is that that's going to kick in a tax of $171,800 per year times 2 years, 2018, 2017. That means that you would have a taxable $343,648, and In order to do this loan, the returns would have to be filed, burned in. I'd have to provide copies, proof of filing, blah, 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 blah. And most certainly, you would have to pay $350,000. Now, let's go to the right side. It's clear that you're going to save at least $6,000 a month or $6,600 a month on this thing, or each year's $80,000. But I don't think generating a $343,000 tax bill for an $80,000 a year saving makes any sense. So I had a long, exhaustive talk with Haas and said, "What can we do?" Well, it's a good thing that you have 800,000 in cash over at the bank, but we need to get more cash into the bank because then we can play with something else called cash liquidity to debt ratio. And what that does then is it allows us to come instead of 40%. Wait. Why is this thing doing this? It's acting weird. Hold on. Divided by 12 times. Oh, wait. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I don't know why it's acting weird. So it's all the formula, but I'll show you in a second. Hold on. Okay, let's go over here on the left. So that would let us get down to a range of about 300, right? Cuts it in half. And then we would have a tax bill of maximum of $60,000 times tiers 120. Now, you would most certainly, I'm not sure if it'll be a 120, it might be less, it might be more. My gut tells me that the more cash you deposit at that bank, the lower it's going to go. Now, me and Haas Haas needs me to finish, give him everything so he can process it and tell me how it looks, which he's going to do over the weekend, and I'm going to basically stop everything that I'm doing in my life and do this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, signature Saturday, and then by Monday morning he'll come back and say, okay, maybe Mike, you can push it down, or you need to give me a little bit more. But basically, the idea is that if you can deposit like I don't know, a quarter mil would be great, but really it needs to be like a half mil or more. And if you get up to a mil, would be great. And open up some business accounts or whatever, then that enables us to use that liquidity in order to blow out the requirement of the 40%, which is going to kill us. Because I don't think it makes sense for you to do this. Also, the reason I want to stop now, which I'll show you in terms of your billing, is that we got to decide what do you want to do. So I'm telling you right now is that we would probably, if you can do the cash deposit thing, then that'll enable me to move forward and do it at about 280 to 300, and you would have to basically pay 100,000 in taxes to the IRS when I file, which means what, next week, the week after, we might be able to get you a payment plan, but that's kind of a pain in the ass, and I don't know. How the bank's going to feel. They may want the letter in hand before they move forward, so it's probably easier just to pay the tax. Now, the good news is two things. One, I still have the tax returns that I did from December, so I've still got a bunch of expenses that we can roll over and use in 2019. Second piece of good news is that this 118,000 really, I mean, this is interest that you're going to pay, which is going to help you get a refund this upcoming year. And so when I look at 80,000 versus 118, we're basically saying that instead of paying the bank, we're going to put this over at the IRS and pay the taxes, but we're going to get to write this shit off, especially since it's a corporate office and your residence. We're going to write off all of this shit, and so we will probably end up only paying about 36,000 of this truly being gone, which means that of the 79,200 you're going to save, you still would be saving. I want to quit. I want to become a taco, lettuce, and tomato farmer. This is like ridiculous. Anyway. So you got 80 minus 36. I don't know, about 40 grand and change, and depending on the year you have, I don't know what the year is going to show, is that the rest of this would be a refund. So basically, you're putting money in one pocket and the other, and your taxes are still pretty low. I really don't want to file you at 640,000, but that's what we're going to have to do based upon the amount of cash that you have at City National Bank. You don't put any more there. So if you don't put any more, I can wrap this thing up, and because all my numbers are at 640, but I don't want to do that. We need to do this game plan. Okay? So that's that. Now let's go over to, what do we need to go to now? Okay, let's go over here. Let's go over to your account. Alrighty. Let's see. This is the second email that had the attachment of this documentation. Okay? W-2s, 1099s, pay stubs. I'm going to have to create that, da 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 da. Some of this, he's already been provided that. Anyways, blah, 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 blah. All right, so if I keep working on this project, I need more money because I need more time, and I'm the only one in the whole office that can do this shit, and I'm basically just going to hide out today, tomorrow, and Saturday and don't do anything else but this. So that's that. I'll send you that in a minute. If you want to move forward, basically it'd be four things. One is that you would need to call Haas, which I'll send an email in a second, and talk to him about, hey, if I put in some more cash, will it help you with the debt to income ratios? He's going to tell you yes. I don't know if that number is 250, 500, or 800, but you can talk to him about it. But I seem to sort of get the vibe that anything over a million, $1.1 million, $1.2 million cash on hand with them, that gets us above 50% over the loan is going to let us play ball. Number two, let's see what else. I don't know, send me more money. Let me see. Number three is that we want to review your other projects. In terms of all the checks you've given me versus the work that I've done, you do have a small credit, which I'm going to apply to one of these statements. I think the last project for $5,600, I'm over by about $2,000, but on the project beforehand, I overestimated it by $1,800, so that'll offset. I'll do that later today. Frankly, I'm so tired. If you don't want to go after this refi, I'm cool, bro. Like, I'm ready to go to sleep for the next 3 days. But I guess if we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Now, I do have to tell you this. When you send me an IRS letter that says, oh, Mike, you got to take care of my taxes, I'm not going to file a 2017 return while you're trying to go get a loan, bro. Because, the bank's going to go and validate. Let's say I sent in that 17 that I did back in December. That's going to show that you have no income, low taxes, blah, 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 blah. Well, now you just didn't qualify for the refi. Okay, so I've been holding off on filing anything 17 or 18. I gave you extensions in 18 personal and corporate because of the last loan. I was all ready to go ahead and move forward, and then you decided you want to do this refi, 2 weeks ago. Okay, so we're going to wrap this refi up. Basically get you approved by the coming week. Try to get this thing closed by June 1st. And as soon as this thing closes, then I'm going to file your returns are already going to be filed, but then I'm going to take all the numbers that we didn't use for 2017 and 18, and I'm going to move those expenses into your financials, into your QuickBooks file for PharmaFine, so we can use those deductions in 2019 so we don't lose them. Okay? But we can't keep fucking around like this, bro. This is it. This is it. All right, you're gonna get your refi at 3 point whatever percent, and yada yada yada. Haas is a smart guy, and so we know we can work together. But I just want to make sure you understand. Like, this is round three. The first time I did your returns, I did them for no tax, no loans. We're not buying a house. Then you say we're buying a house. And then we got to do it with the business financials because your personal didn't have anything, right? And then, now we're doing this. So, I'm down, but this is it. This is the last time. And I'm going to tell you this much. After we do this, close this, I'm not going to want to hear anything about any loans for buying any houses, period. Now you want a loan for a line of credit to go buy a commercial building or a mortgage for a commercial. That's a different enchilada. But this is it. Okay. All right. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know. You're going to see a bunch of stuff on ShareFile. I'm going to send an email to you and Haas to talk about how much more money to deposit. All right, and then I'll wait to hear from you. Now the other thing is if you don't want to move forward and just keep the loan you got, well, that's fine. Don't send me any more money, and and then we'll just stop or whatever. And I don't know when you plan on paying this house off, but I mean a 3.3% loan is pretty amazing. I don't know how you found these guys, and I mean, I have no idea how you found these guys, but this is a pretty sweet deal. I have to admit. All right, I gotta take a shower. This video's gonna get posted, and hopefully this works out. This sounds okay, and I guess that's it. All right, peace out. I don't know how to work this damn thing.